Normally when I'm at a Walmart, I'm here to buy stuff, and I guess I'm still buying stuff today, but it's not stuff that I'm gonna send into Amazon. Well, I am sending it into Amazon. It's not inventory. It's been over 2.5 months since I last sent an inventory to Amazon. During that time, I moved into a van, and I've been very nervous about actually getting a shipment in. So today, we're gonna be making my first shipment while living in a van, hoping that it isn't the most terrible thing in the world. I do hope this is enough boxes.
Quantity needed.
All right. If you haven't seen any of the more recent videos that I've done since moving into the van, this is all the space we're working with. But I think my workflow is going to drastically change from what I used to do sending in shipments in apartments. I have a bunch of stuff here from TJ Maxx mostly, in this bin, and then a green bin in the back there that both have more product that I need to send in. I was waiting a lot to send stuff in because I didn't have the stuff that I just bought that I opened up yesterday in another video that's either out now or will be coming out soon. And I'm going to be trying to send in smaller, more frequent shipments as I get stuff done. And I'm hoping that this shipment takes me 3 hours or less to get through, which is a very optimistic thing to say. But as we go through it, I think it'll be possible, especially because I'm going to have automatic printing of my labels, and I'm not going to label everything. That's a little bit more space just to put stuff on. The most important part of the setup process right here, making sure that this stays hot for the whole time I'm doing the shipment, and of course spilling it. Is that what they mean by giving your wood a coffee stain? Poly bags, inventory, the rest of the goodies. I'm grateful that Carissa likes Barnes & Noble because this is pretty much the only space that she would have if she came back right now. But we'll try to do everything fast so the whole van goes back to normal within a couple hours. And for context, it's 12:38 right now. I don't know how far the closest UPS store is. I'm hoping I can get there by about 4:30. This is actually more than I remember there being. But this is everything that we're needing to send in today. I actually wrote down 9 different steps that I see in a shipment when you're sending stuff to Amazon FBA. The first thing that you have to do is actually buy the inventory, which you've already done. It's all over there. Then you have to categorize the inventory, in which case we're making buy lists. And then after you know that you can actually send it into Amazon, you have to delabel it, label it, and prep it. Now, label and prep can be in different categories because if you need to put a big poly bag or bubble wrap around something and you're not going to be able to see the label underneath it, you'll need to prep it before you label it. Otherwise, you can label it, and we might not actually be labeling everything, but we'll get to that in a second when we hop on an inventory lab. Then you need to get the shipments from Amazon, pack your shipments, tell them what's in each of the boxes, and send the shipments. Then in about 24 hours, reprice it. That's pretty much what we have to do today, except for buying the inventory. And I use Inventory Lab to make this all easier on myself, but this has my poly bags, my printer, my labels, stuff to get labels off, and my new heat gun, which will set up kind of in an assembly line once I figure out exactly how I want to ship this all using Inventory Lab. So let's hop there for a second. If you've never seen it before, it's a program that you can use to send in all of your shipments. Currently, I've lost connection with my hotspot. And it also comes with this app, Scoutify 2, that you can use to source everything, which is actually how we're probably going to create buy lists, which will send to Inventory Lab. When we log in, it'll give you a dashboard. What we want to go to is go to list, and prep. We're going to create a new batch. We'll name the batch first van. We're going to ship from a different address. I just put this in as a default address because I don't have an address anywhere. This is just for Amazon to know where we should send all of our units. And right now I'm in Framingham, Massachusetts, which is a suburb of Boston. And so we'll see which UPS store is closest and see where they want us to ship everything. Not an access point. We need an actual store. This looks like it's the closest store over here. So go ahead and copy that. I am going to change one setting, not on this page, but I am a little nervous to change it, but I think it'll save myself a lot of time. And I don't think it'll have any major negative effect on my business. Right now, if I go into Seller Central, first off, I'm having a great day at 12 p.m. If I head over into settings and then all the way down to fulfillment by Amazon, and we go down to the FBA product barcode preference, right now I have it set to Amazon barcode. If I edit this, I can change it from Amazon barcode up to manufacturer barcode. And so now when I go into Inventory Lab, it's going to commingle my inventory. So I won't have to label everything. I'll only have to label stuff that either has an expiration date or is considered a dangerous good. But it should save me a lot of time on labeling my items. So we're going to try this for now, probably for the next couple shipments, because there's plenty of people who do it and have no problem. I just am a little nervous because I like to have more control over things, but I also want to save a ton of time. But let me really quickly explain the difference between Amazon and manufacturer barcodes. So one of the things that we're going to be sending in are these dog toys right here. This is the most accurate geographical rendering of the United States of America, and right now we're right over here in Massachusetts. So let's say there's another seller, and we're the only 2 sellers who have these items. The other seller is over here, close to like LA or something. I don't really know the West Coast very well. We're just going to assume that this is eligible for that program, the manufacturer barcode program. But let's say that I chose to label my item, and he chose to be in the manufacturer barcode program. So he just sent in his item to the Amazon center here. I have a bunch of them, so they'll be going to a bunch of different Amazon centers. They all have my label on it though. My price is $11 and he's trying to gouge, and his is $24. Let's say that there's a buyer over here kind of in the Nevada, California border area. They buy from me obviously because I'm less than half the price of him, and so they're gonna have to send that all the way from over here in like Illinois or something over to this buyer. That's because they bought from me and it has my label on it, so they have to send it to them because it's my SKU on the label. Let's say if instead of doing that, both of us enrolled in the manufacturer barcode program. Let's say I have 10 of these items and he has one of them. If this buyer buys and we both have the manufacturer barcode, so we don't label it, we just have this on the back of it, Amazon will take his and send it to the buyer because the buyer is so close to him. And so now he has 0 inventory and I have 10. But since they bought from me, what they do is they take one of these 10, knock it down to 9, and credit him back. So now he has 1 unit again. So it's essentially just sending that product because it's the same product, and it'll get to the buyer much sooner, which can make for better customer service. But the problem with that is it can also make for worse customer service if we have different quality control standards. The reason that I like to label all of my items is I know for certain that the items that I'm sending in are of a good enough quality to be sold on Amazon, and I can't be 100% sure of that for other people. And I am going to be taking on a little bit more of a risk because if anything happens, then I do run the risk of getting negative customer service score. But the reason I feel relatively okay with that is that if we go into my feedback, there are feedback that gets striked out. For instance, this one, it says one of the packs only had 1 in it, and Amazon says this item was fulfilled by Amazon and we take responsibility for the fulfillment experience. And that was even on an item that they initially didn't do that, and I just reached out to seller support and Amazon took the blame for it, so I don't have that negative feedback on my account. You obviously can't trust them for everything. I just think it's worth it in my case to save myself the time to do other things that I want to do. Okay, so since we got a lot of new stuff, finally gonna be able to actually print while we categorize inventory. And I made a video unboxing and reviewing and setting this all up. So if you are getting a Rollo printer and you want to learn how to do that and just change your settings in Inventory Lab so it'll print automatically for you, check that video out. So my plan is to go one store at a time, pretty much one bin at a time. Categorize everything on my phone with the Scoutify 2 app. Just click into it, it'll pull it up. I bought these for $4.99. This is a questionable, semi-questionable buy because it's $9.79 for Amazon, but I have seen them come off the listing a decent bit, especially if you go into the Amazon listing, you can see that they only have 1 left in stock. So we'll just do it for the $15.99 price. Buy list will be TJ Maxx main. Quantity, I have to figure that out. TJ Maxx, $15.99 new. And then you got to change the tax rate to 5.5%. And you can also do that in the settings, so it'll be the same for all of these. I'll do the rest of them later. And then we'll move it down the assembly line of the heat gun to take the stickers off, with Goo Gone to get the little residue from the stickers off. And then all the labels will already be printed, so we could just slap the label on it if it needs it and put it in the bin down there to be ready to be boxed. So we have the full batch done, spent about $91 at this TJ Maxx. Next, what we have to do is send it over to Inventory Lab and then archive it over here. Then I have to go find it in my email and process it. I should probably turn this on. Complete, no problems. Add it to the batch. And if there are any labels that I need, nope, these are all no labels. So these are all manufacturer label. All I'll have to do is delabel them, and already that has saved me a bunch of time. Let's take all these off and then we'll get started on this beast, which is going to be a pain in the butt because almost all of those have expiration dates. Okay, let me just say this. If you live in a van, I don't know how many of you are living in a van and reselling, but if you do that, or you just are looking for a heat gun, this thing I think was $12. It's 300 watts, so it does not use a lot of power, which is good for me living in the van. That gets everything off so easily, and it has this little stand, which makes it perfect. If you don't have a heat gun and you're like me trying to get stuff off just with Goo Gone, just get this. It's $10. It's going to make you so happy. There's a tiny bit of residue left on all of them. And the one very last thing that I need to do on some of these is because they're only on this one string, I'm just going to put them in poly bags. Some people think that you should do it for all of the ones, especially since the products are out, but I've sent in dog toys and other stuff like this, and it hasn't been an issue before. Make sure the UPC is on the opposite side so that they can still read it through the bag. Not the prettiest thing in the world, but that'll definitely work. This is all from one Walmart run. Massive receipt, a lot of sunscreen and stuff, so I'm just going to organize it all real quick, and then we can get to categorizing it. I hope I have enough space in the van. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of stuff. Couple fishing things. Mostly though, this stuff is going to have expiration dates, which is something that I haven't talked about before. And I did look all this up on Amazon, and you can go and see all this for yourself. But if something has an expiration date, it needs to be at least normally 90 days from when it will get to the fulfillment center, because someone's going to check the expiration date when it gets there. It also needs to have the expiration date very visible on the packaging. And so I have on Inventory Labs it set up that since I put an expiration date in, it's going to print that out on my label as well. One thing that is interesting though is, for instance, these are 1-a-days. It has an extra special way that you need to worry about the expiration date. The expiration date needs to be not only 90 days from when it's going to get to the fulfillment center, but 90 days after it will get to the fulfillment center, plus the amount of time it's going to take for it to be consumed. Since there are 50 tablets in here, then add on 50 days to the 90, so at least 140 days. What I try to do is keep everything at least at 6 months. That way I don't have to worry about it very much, and that's what I talked about when I actually picked these up. These two I'm not really going to do on my phone. I'm going to do these all on the computer because most of them are going to need labels. I'll just do it all on Inventory Lab on the computer. It's going to print out the labels automatically for me with the expiration date on it, and I can just label it and put it to the side. and move on to the next thing. The first thing that we're going to look at is this grapeseed complex. I will have to make sure that all the expiration dates are the same. This one says March 2023. If there are different ones, then you have to create 2 different SKUs for it. What we're going to do is go here into the Amazon thing. I actually should get out my keyboard. Let's see if I can get enough space on this little table. In the search bar, we're just going to look up this 4811311567883. So we see that it's the Spring Valley Bilberry Extract. Select it. So I did just double check. These ones, all 5 of these, have the 3/23 date. These ones, though, have 1/23. Now, I'm not sure if this is the case, and I'm not going to do it this way this time, but let me know if you've done this before and you know. I wonder if I can put just 1/23 for all 7 of them and make my life a little easier. I'm not going to do that now because it's the first time I've done this, and I want to do it as by the book as possible, but I think you potentially could. So the first one, 5 of them, we bought them for $2. I don't care about the date. We're just going to put Walmart because that's where we bought them from. But now we need to come down here, open up this expiration date, and then put January 2023. I guess it needs to be in month and date, so we'll just put the first 1/01/2023, and I need to enter slashes, which is lame. Now we can see that that was pretty good buy. So we'll just go over here. We'll just add it at the lowest buy box price for now. Our reprice will worry about that. We'll hit add to batch, and then it should add 5 of them at that price. And it should print automatically. There we go. This is what I'm going to be doing now. Hopefully not for too much longer. Yeah, it's already 2:07, so I want to be done in less than 2 hours. So hopefully this doesn't take forever, and we can get it done. Okay, this is officially taking forever. I have all of this still left to go. It's been 45-ish minutes, and this is all that I've done. Mostly because I wanted to make sure that these sunblocks stay protected and don't open up or anything, so I put them all in poly bags. And all the expiration date madness is a pain. But our ROI is looking great. We're like 150% right now. And a lot of this stuff is multiple 100% returns. I doubt what we've done before. We might not even get it done today, but I'll catch up with you after all of this is cataloged, because that's going to take me a hot minute. Okay, it's almost 4 o'clock, and I'm getting there at the last expiration date of products, I think, for this. But I want to show you guys one thing in case you didn't know about expiration dated products. These are Banana Boat self-tanning lotions. I got these for $1 because they were on clearance because we were in Maine, and it was October. This number up here isn't actually an expiration date. It's a lot number. You see 210617030. A lot of times with brands, you'll actually have to look up how to interpret that number. So I went online and just looked up how to read Banana Boat lot number. According to the website, the first 2 numbers of the code indicate the year the sunscreen was produced, and the next 3 indicate the day. So for this one, it was produced in 2021 this year on the 61st day of the year, which would have been in March. Then on their website, it says that self-tanning lotions are normally effective for 2 years. So I'm going to put the date for this as March 2023 for expiration. And then I just have to check that for all of these to make sure that I send these in with the correct expiration date. So if you didn't know, now you know. Almost finished up. Just got some like fishing products that I don't think I'll need to actually label, and we'll be able to finally get to the last bin. And I totally don't remember what I have in there or how much stuff I have. So that'll be fun to go through. Finally. These are all returns because I didn't check the expiration date on a lot of like these sunblock items because I didn't know where to when I was in the store. The rest of this is all ready to go, all polybagged, all prepped, which is nice because normally after I catalog everything, I still need to do all the prep work. So we're about like 3 hours into this and we still have all of this to go, but I think most of this both doesn't need to get, oh no, I have a lot of makeup, I forgot. Oh. Yeah, this is just gonna be a lot more work, I think. So it took 4.5 hours, but we finally are done. And I didn't realize how much stuff I had from forever ago. I had these that I actually bought when I was buying my guitar at Guitar Center. I got them for $10 each, and they sell for like $40 to $60. And the date on that was July 31st, 2.5 months old. That's finally getting out there. We're gonna head back into Inventory Lab and just let you know, the ROI on this is insane from what I got at Walmart, but we'll go over that at the end of the video. I'm gonna hit review batch and then submit, and hopefully we get like 1 or 2 shipments. It gave me 4 shipments. Except what I hate is that it gives me 2 different shipments for seller and no label. And I don't know why it does that. So I just looked it up, and apparently the API that Amazon uses with Inventory Labs isn't able to support doing seller and manufacturer labels in the same shipment. There is a workaround, but you'd have to download all of the batch and then upload it and get the shipments from Amazon themselves after you send the product feeds. So I'm not going to worry about this time because I want to get out of here and go out with Chris, and we're going to get some nice Italian and some Sam Adams because we are in Boston. So we'll suck it up and do those multiple shipments. I guess it'll be fine because I got all these small boxes anyways. I decided to be getting some stuff out of here and actually hopefully making money on Amazon again. We're just going to create all of them real quick. This is interesting. I'm getting this error. Apparently I'm over the restock limit for capacity group type sortable. I don't know what that is, so let me look that up. I also shouldn't have any restock limits because I have a good IPI. This is really annoying. Apparently I have restock limits because I haven't been selling a lot and been waiting on prices. This is my IPI, which is fine. It's in the green, but apparently you can still get restock limits even if you have a decent IPI, so I need to get rid of some units. My restock limits seem to be really low right now too. I'm gonna go and be cool and drop some prices, but I'm gonna send in whatever I can today, and I guess I'm just gonna have to wait to send the rest of this in, which really sucks because I don't have any room now that I'm in the van. That's really frustrating. Did not expect that at all. That makes sense because we're getting into Q4, I guess. I'm gonna put all the shipments together, and then when I sell enough units, 180 units, which at this rate be in like a month, we'll be able to send that in. So that really sucks. Oh, okay, well, let's box it up. I can't even create my shipments because I need to do it on all of these, and it won't let me. And now I can't decline the shipments and go back. Oh, what am I gonna freaking do? First thing I'm doing is going back into Be Cool, looking at my quantities, and then dropping my prices. Because ultimately, I'm going to be able to buy more inventory now and send it in, which will make more money than waiting on inventory that's not going to sell, because I can flip that money over and over again now that I don't have to wait on buying more inventory. The other thing is on something like this, which isn't like a terrible buy, but I bought way too many of them. I have 41 of them. I'm going to try to liquidate them. See if Amazon will buy them for me for Amazon Warehouse. If not, just get them sent back either to my house or just honestly tossed at this point, and it'll just cost me more money to get 35 of them sent back. Cost me $7 instead of getting them destroyed. It'll cost me $3. Probably going to do that for that, as well as any other units that I don't think I'll be able to sell a lot of. Just getting removal orders, that way I can send in all this inventory, except I will have to wait until tomorrow because it normally takes Amazon a day to process those, I think. But hopefully that way I'll be able to get rid of a lot of dead inventory. So I've gone through and found out that I'm really bad at reselling, and I've scheduled like probably 200 or 300 units for removal, which by tomorrow should give me enough units to ship everything in. So I'm gonna box everything up today, especially just because I need to clean up my van. Wish Amazon would just let me send in that inventory, but it was kind of a good exercise to realize I'm paying storage fees on some stuff that will probably never sell, and I just need to cut my losses. Brutal! I also just realized that I was going through all of my inventory that had like high numbers of units, like I had way overbought, and I'm just now realizing there's about 38 books and 3 other things from the very beginning of my reselling over a year ago that just haven't sold. And I hate books anyways, so we're going to get rid of those too. If you're better than me at reselling, you've probably never seen this page, but this is where you say, yes, I want to do stuff on 40 listings. Honestly, I'm just going to dispose of all the books and liquidate a couple other things. Well, that's 40 minutes of momentum that I've lost. I'm just going to look to see where everything is going, and I'm going to put it all in the boxes. Hopefully, I don't have to split any shipments because that would be annoying. And I'm hoping that these small boxes that I got are big enough, but we should end up with 4 boxes of stuff that hopefully tomorrow we can send out. Latest would be Wednesday. All right. We did it. We have, this is 1 shipment here, these 2 boxes, another shipment, a 3rd, and a 4th. I'm going to check one more time, see if any of the stuff has been processed. And it's officially been like 6 hours. All right, let's see if it'll create it. Ooh, it created it. Let's see about this last one. Come on. Do it, 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 do it. Yes! All right, looks like I cleared out enough inventory. Everything was able to be done. Since this is split up into 2 boxes, this shipment, this box is everything except for supplements. This box is just supplements. So we'll just come down here to enter box contents. The first one with no label, this is all just in 1 box. This one here, that's seller label, is all in 1 box. It's just 16 units. This one right here is also all in 1 box. It's actually in a bag. And then last but not least, all we have to do is make sure that these, there's 15 of them. I totally already put some in the other ones. So I'm going to have to open up my supplement box and figure out which ones are actually in here. I'm not very smart today. I think what's hard about it is it's kind of like if you've ever invested in the stock market and you would make a really bad investment. I did this a lot when I was day trading a while ago. You don't like actually incur the loss until you get out of the trade. And in this case, it's the same thing. I don't actually incur the loss of having spent that money and gotten nothing for it, even though I'm pretty sure that it's a terrible deal that I did until I actually liquidate the inventory. So here is all of this. I'm just going to count it out, see what I have in here, and then we'll transmit all the boxes and weigh them up. I actually had the correct amount of units there, but when I go to assign it to a box, it gives me this error. It says a box cannot contain a SKU that has multiple expiration dates. Amazon does not allow that. And that's not good because I have some that have 3 different expiration dates, and I don't want to just ship one of them. So what I'm ended up doing is just moving the expiration date forward on it. So if it expires in November, I'll say that it expires in like June so that I can add it to some of the other ones, print out a new label for that guy. But then I also have to move a bunch of units from here into here. So I have different expiration dates for a lot of my sunscreens, and I did not know about that. So that's going to add another bunch of time for me. Dang it! Okay, another stupid thing learned. Back in the inventory lab, like twice as long as I wanted it to now. I adjusted a couple expiration dates, kept as much similar as possible, and moved some stuff around. And so everything that hasn't been assigned to a box, I'm just gonna go ahead and assign. So I'll click everything and then click out of the ones that have already been assigned. Assign all these to box 2. All right, and now we can transmit all the boxes to Seller Central. But to do that, we need dimensions. Luckily, all the boxes have the dimensions written on them. I just need to weigh everything. To do that, I just got this new scale. scale. Even though it's small, what's nice is it has this detached way to look at what the pounds are. All we have to do is turn the scale on. Even though the scale is fully covered, we can still read that it's just under 30 pounds, so we'll put 30, 17 by 11 by 13. And I'll do that with the rest, but it looks like I'm gonna have a little bit of a learning experience with this shipment right here. It just has some like suntan lotion and stuff. Something is labeled as hazmat items, and so weight and dimensions have to be entered directly in Seller Central. Awesome, we'll go ahead and submit all, and now we just wait for it to let us know that the information's been sent. And while we wait, I'm gonna head over to Seller Central, down to FBA shipments, and look at this shipment of 16 units, so we can add in the correct dimensions. And then we'll just adjust to thermal printing paper, and we'll have to change my labels to the 4x6 labels. Well, that died, so now I have no service. Maybe I should have kept it plugged in while I was using it as a hotspot all day long. One other thing that's interesting that I just learned is this shipment, since it has some hazmat goods in it, I can't go through any Amazon partnered stuff, so I have to buy my own label to ship it in, which I was not expecting. It'll still very much be profitable enough, but I'm gonna not worry about this shipment for now and just do the other shipments. All right, looks normal. Amazon partnered delivery. Shipping out tomorrow. Print box labels. Alrighty. And then I do the same thing for all of them. Now for the last one, I'm just gonna suck it up, go on pirate ship. Also, I always forget to come back here and complete the shipment, so I just gotta make sure we do that. And this very last one, looks like I just have to ship it to there, so I'll go ahead and print out the Amazon label at least. Okay, that's not bad. $10 is what it's gonna cost me. Kind of annoying, but a little understandable that Amazon makes you do that yourself. Now we'll be good to go. This video really took a freaking turn. I genuinely thought it was going to be so much easier to ship than it has been. We're going to go over the numbers and stuff in a second, but tonight I'm trying to, like I said, get downtown Boston to get some Italian food and some Sam Adams beers. And tomorrow we'll actually drop this off, but I'm very frustrated with the amount of things that I had to learn, but glad that I learned them, and hopefully this will help you as you're doing shipments. I'm going to pack everything up and I'll see you tomorrow. Ha, just kidding. You have to enter the tracking number in here when you're finishing up your shipment and you're shipping it yourself. All right, little buddies, today's the day. Well, that was a very confusing experience. I didn't want to film a lot of it, but I dropped it off. All my stuff had labels and everything. And he's like, oh, is this a return for Amazon? I was like, no, it's a drop off. So it's a drop off. I was like, yes. He's like, oh, so it's a return. Like, I was stupid and didn't know what I was talking about. And then he called his manager over, and she's like, dude, it's got all the labels on it. Like, what are you doing? Scan it in.
His manager looked at him like he was dumb, too.
Yeah. Afterwards, he's like, that's what I meant when I asked if it was a return or a drop-off. I was like, no, if you had asked if it was a drop-off, I said yes, and then you said, so it's a return, and looked at me like I was stupid. So let's go over the numbers, because this ROI was pretty cool. And if you're wondering on Inventory Lab how to go and look at what your potential profit should be for a shipment, go into List, Closed Batches right there. We'll get to the batch that I just did, first van shipment. Then on the bottom, it should have a bar that has all of the numbers on it. And this is what we are looking at. In this shipment, we sent in a total of 405 items, which are over 97 different types of items or SKUs. Stock keeping units, what that stands for. The average sales rank was 158,000, which is pretty good. My average in general is around 200,000, 250,000. So that's a pretty good rank and should mean that stuff will sell pretty fast. The sales value is $5,000, and what I bought it for was $1,033. But the best number is that the total net profit was $1,537.11. So that means essentially we'll make 150% return on investment on this shipment. And all I'm gonna have to do to make sure that that's the case is set my repricing through Be Cool, and I have some other videos walking through that, as well as my initial thoughts here. If you want to see videos of when we bought this stuff, check that out here. And if you're interested more in the business side, watch what my passive income looked like over the past couple months right here.